here, land is owned by families and communities. Originally, emphasis had been on food production, but in recent times, there has been a shift into new other cash crops because people are trying to find alternative livelihoods.
So in this research, we've been looking at how access to land may be changing for different groups and the implications of increased cashew cultivation for food security and poverty alleviation.
Asase no ye nananom asase. Ye metimi aka ho asem ni se cashew no eye japade a ya eda ho ma njirima. Na kwana mefa so a kire ni se asase no ye abusian asase. Enti ye se me ma abusianvo bi. Na me ma memma bi. Na me yire so ese se me mani bi. Na ne ebeka no na me dia ma abusianvo. Sane ye cashew no ho asem sitie ni se ya de se wudua a chere asase no so mvie bebere. Ndi wo ye no ese se odwini hu se wo bedidi. Asase na ese wugya bi ho. Sane ye be ya wo su benye ba bi ado. Na o ka se wo de cashew no anije ni sane ni yesi to no fa na wo de anije edo asase ni nyina ebe to mire bi no e de aho kire be ma wo.
Asase ni ye mikun omo asase. Me wo fa bi na abeja na ya do cashew na se ye nya asase bi. Nti mi wo fa bi na abeje aye banje mi wo fa no so pe cashew. Nti ya so ya do so a na ya dua ye makuo ne ye baayire. Na ye so ya afa. Na ya do cashew no ho ama me wo fa.
Na yesre na nanom ya ne wonyina ka ye ka yeti abomu na asase no cashew ne ya do no ye nyai na sese na asase ni nyina sa anya sa daachi nchire ma no se ya ma no kura pe kwa ya ahwe a kise etua ka
Yenyesika se ye de bebo pa ndi yanko a me ne memma ene me kunu yanko a ya hode na ye de yenyesika mo pa na le oba ba le
We buy from the indigenous farmers. That is why we employ the pieces. Pieces means purchasing place. We have them in various communities representing us. So they buy from the farmers and then they will then bring to the warehouse for onward drying, and then rebagging, and then for shipment.
Baba free baby baba tono. Baba na ba kan bo na hye.
Mi dina German of cashew farmers na namu. E di adisede say cashew tono onso mu man se na be a ne bo no ebe gina faako. Misan so e di adisede to abanim say omo modina say obe boy e fa nuo ti say we decide fertilizer no o ma ne bo nko fom se na be a betimi abo akuafo.
It's not only for farmers that middlemen are disturbing the process, it's also for the processors themselves. Because for a processor means they are not buying directly from the farmer, which is next to their door basically, but they're having a trader buying the product and selling it to them at a higher price than they would get it initially from a farmer. A lot of processors say, okay, why don't we cut out the middleman? Why don't we try to establish direct contact with our farmers?
Cashew farmers na say and from any associations, Sinabea, Yebenya Moa, a free, a buying ho.
First, we were selling the raw material to the exporters, and they were sending it to their country, employ people working there. So we said, oh, why won't we start it here? Employ our local women. We started this factory with only 3 workers, and now we've increased our capacity up to 85 workers, and we have organized the farmers after processing. Then the factory add a premium price to them. When we do the processing here, then we send it to Accra to our customers for them to do the final processing there, send it to the supermarkets.
Africa as a whole farms about 1,200,000 tons of cashew, from which 90% get exported raw to India, Vietnam, and then from there forwarded to Europe or the US. So most processing of cashew, which is also the value addition, actually in the business does not happen in Africa, but it happens somewhere else. So we as ACA are trying to increase the quantities of cashew that are processed within Africa. But specifically for Ghana, there's rather a shortage of raw material. What we need to make sure is that the cashew that is being produced, let's say in the north of Ghana, in the Brong-Ahafo region, is really being brought to the factories. So market linkages, creating long-term relations between cashew farmers and cashew buyers can also help with other difficulties like access to equipment, access to finance. So for farmers in Africa, it is very important to start looking into good agricultural practices to improve quality and to improve quantity.
Sadia beya omo be chire akwan ayebe so adua cashew no eno so hoso yetiminya trata ketenkete bi ebe boaye woni so anuma betima boa fenso.
So we urge the government to provide our storage places so that at the end of the day, after harvesting the cashew, we can send it there for a long period of time without getting spoiled.
Important for farmers is the knowledge of byproduct processing, that is cashew apple processing, which can be transformed into cashew brandy, cashew jams, cashew juices, to use it as a feed for livestock. At the moment, most of it just gets thrown away. And then there's the beekeeping in conjunction with cashew farming, which can increase productivity between 40 to 300%, as found in a study by ACI. If they can raise their production by 300%, that means they will have a much higher income from the existing trees that they already have on the land.
Ama ya wofo na nyesika aboa ama omotima hwe mrantie no maaya no ye school kro anase ye adwumasua ma ye besua ntie no so afenso ye nya sika na ye betim adibi adidwa sade ye be ya atama cashew no kono ye betim anya sika no bi ayade.